Hello, my name is Roberto Castellanos. I am the director of Novamar Insurance Mexico, and today we're going to have a chat with Mariana Lange, owner of Mexico Relocation Guide. And today we're going to talk about all the benefits that Mexico Relocation provides to the people from the United States mainly that they are moving to Mexico. So Mariana, can you tell us who is Mexico Relocation Guide?
Mexico Relocation Guide is primarily a website that is dedicated to teaching people who are interested in moving to Mexico. Yes, we do have most of our customers from the United States and Canada, but really we can help anybody who can read English. Our website is dedicated to teaching people how to move to Mexico the right way. And I emphasize the right way because there's a lot of wrong ways to move to a country. Doing things maybe without the knowledge of how legal things work or how immigration works or how real estate works and those kinds of things. So we try to help people avoid as many surprises and costly mistakes. And the website, it has a lot of free resources. There's a really nice blog that tells you a lot of tips. But really our main focus or core focus is our online course. And in our online course, we give people very detailed steps for how to move to Mexico. Plus, we also give them our directory of recommended contacts in Mexico because we know that Mexican bureaucracy is very hard to navigate on your own. And not only for foreigners, even for locals, it's hard to navigate. So we give them a really extensive directory of contacts across Mexico that can help them move to Mexico with a lot more ease.
So that's very, very, very helpful for people they are planning to move into Mexico. Of course, there are many others that they have some contacts in Mexico, but it's going to be always better to go with the experts. So the deep research that you have made really provides a value for people that they are planning to move to Mexico, or even that they just arrive and they have many questions and they don't know where to go. So you are the resource. So if I want to move to Mexico, specifically, what do I need to do in order to get the Mexican Relocation Guide help?
Yeah, well, first, I would say definitely go to our website. And if you're brand new to the process, if you just started thinking about moving to Mexico and you don't know where to start, I would say the very first step is to go to the website and go through the blog, because the first thing you have to determine is if you qualify to live in Mexico. The immigration requirements are pretty straightforward, but if you don't make a specific amount of money each month, if you don't have economic solvency, which is how a lot of people actually move to Mexico, then you're not eligible to move to Mexico. So the very, very first thing that I would say that people really have to determine first is if they qualify to actually live in Mexico legally. Now, the next thing, once you're doing some research and you're maybe deciding where in Mexico you want to live, maybe you like the beach, or maybe you're more of a city person, or maybe you've heard that there are places where you can enjoy springtime weather. Our website, our blog also has a lot of really nice videos where we show you a variety of different places where you could live. And we give you a really nice breakdown of each of these places, like cost of living, what neighborhoods we recommend, how to get around, what's the weather like, those kinds of things. Is there a lot of foreigners living there that you might be able to easily make friends with? And all those resources are free. Now, once you're really ready and more serious about moving to Mexico, that's when I really recommend the course, Roberto, because the course gives you not only a step-by-step plan, but it actually gives you a lot of details that you might not even know that you needed to ask yourself. And then again, we have that directory, which we recommend people like Novamar, a lot of other healthcare providers. We have a lot of immigration experts, realtors, private relocation tour guides. So if you're planning a scouting trip, we hook you up, we connect you right with a local who can actually show you around and show you what it's like to live like a local. And that way you don't have to worry about renting a car or knowing how to get around or where you're going to go or what neighborhoods you're going to visit. A local will show you all those things. And we have helped thousands of people move to Mexico. I mean, we have customers all over the world who have bought our course, And they really have saved a lot of time and money.
So it's wonderful that you have created this guide for people. So the time and the money that they are going to save, instead of just going, take my car or flying to Mexico and start finding out what's going on in Mexico, it's going to be really more difficult for them, because it's going to take us, I say, time, money, and I don't know, sometimes go to the wrong place instead of to the good one. So it's always way better to go with you, get the information that you have made. And how often you update your information in order to have this? I mean, because there are many variables when I'm planning to move to another countries. Where do I want to live? Like in Mexico, we have different climates. Desert, or we have beach, we have mountains. So how the people they are going to define where to live, and then it's a small house or condominium, or in a Mexican community or an expat community. How do you provide that information, and how often do you update it?
The information on the website is updated, as soon as we get new information, if it's relevant to the person that's reading it, right? So like every year the immigration requirements change. That you can count on us having that information as soon as the immigration authorities publish it, right? Or as soon as we have new information from the contacts that we work with in Mexico. So the website is consistently being updated as soon as we have information. The online course gets updated probably even more regularly, because we're always adding more contacts. We're always adding new people in there that we recommend. We're always adding either new private tours, or we're always adding new realtors, or new service providers that we recommend, new real estate lawyers, or other people that can help you make the move to Mexico easier. So our first priority is obviously the online course, because that's our customers have paid us to get this information, right? And so that one is being updated very, very consistently. I would say, we make an update probably once a week, where we're adding a new service provider, or maybe we have new information about a tip on how to accelerate your immigration process, because maybe you are having a really hard time getting an appointment at a consulate. So, I constantly give our customers new information on like what consulates have new appointments. Just to give you an example, there's so many different moving parts to moving to Mexico, but that is like a tiny part of it, is the immigration process. And it's very complicated if you don't know what you don't know. So for us, we try to make it as simple as possible for people to not get confused and not get overwhelmed, and really to just have a plan. But then there's also real estate, right? Like things are always changing in real estate. There's always like tiny new little laws that maybe if you're not a realtor, you might not keep up with. But you might want to know, if you're buying something, what the new process is for doing a specific thing, and what you can expect to wait for that, and those kinds of things, and how to maybe facilitate it. There's so many moving parts, and we really try to make the online course as easy to follow as possible, so that they don't get overwhelmed with all these moving parts. We do, however, have a very, very active private community on Facebook, where if somebody's particular situation, or maybe like a very specific question that they have about doing something that isn't covered in the guide, like maybe they're wondering like, hey, I'm moving to San Jose del Cabo, or I'm moving to Puerto Vallarta, and I need to know where I would pay, or like what water company do you recommend to come and refill my water? Well, those kinds of details I'm not going to include in the guide, because they're so specific to every city.
Right, yeah.
So, but the private community is a great place for those people to ask those questions, because we have customers living all over Mexico that have already gone through a lot of the local processes. So they give their recommendations. And that's just like a very simple example, right? Sometimes we have customers asking us like, hey, my husband and I are divorced and we share custody of our kid. What do I need to bring to the consulate to petition my child, right, to get residency visa with me? And the consulate doesn't give you that information, by the way. So, the community is a great place to ask those questions, because either I will help them go through that process or guide them through that process, or one of our experts will. Like I have a lot of the experts be part of that private community where they can help people answer some of those questions that they might have even after they bought the guide.
So it's very, very helpful because once the person is enrolled with Mexico Relocation Guide, they have access to all this information, like master classes that they have access to, with an organic community that is always alive with new information from the people. So once I am part of Mexico Relocation Guide, now I have access to all this information that I will need. Even if I'm saying, if I am in Mexico, we have seen friends and people that they are living, for example, in Puerto Vallarta, and say, it's too hot for us in September, so we would like to move to Querétaro or León or San Miguel de Allende. But what about in those cities? So they have now access to start making questions. Even they are going to look for the reallocation inside of Mexico. So that's very helpful, Mariana.
Yeah, in fact, we have that's a perfect example, Roberto. We have so many customers that say, I want to retire on the beach, and I just imagine myself, on a hammock by the ocean, spending my retirement days. And then they move to Playa del Carmen, or they move to Huatulco, or they move to Cancun, or, one of these beaches, and they realize like, maybe I actually miss the city life, and maybe it's too hot. And so they decide like, hey, you know what? I'm going to give Querétaro a try, or maybe I'm going to move to, Chapala or Guadalajara or Mexico City, right? But now you have to start all over again. You have to make new contacts again. You have to figure out who you're going to rent from, what realtor you're going to use. Maybe if you're buying a house in one of those locations, you now have to find a new real estate lawyer, or maybe you have to find a new notario. So in the guide, that's why it's so valuable, because if you move in 6 months or you move a year later or something like that, we still have those contacts in that new location. So that really saves people time. It really saves them the time. And because we don't take any commissions, we don't take any paybacks, we don't take any kickbacks from the people that we recommend, because we really only recommend people that we know, one, have a good reputation, two, they're trustworthy, like they get back to people, they are established, right? They have a lot of years of experience, those kinds of things. And three, because it really makes us neutral in that area. That way, I don't have any special skin in the game or any special reason to promote one person versus another. I only ever recommend people that I know are trustworthy in the community.
That's great. And what is the cost, Mariana, to have access to this guide?
So the cost in 2023 is currently $495 US. It's a one-time fee. You get lifetime access. So regardless of how many times I increase the price in the future, if you buy the online guide now in 2023, you pay that price and you never have to pay an upgrade. Or even if I add new information or anything like that, you get all the updates, you get everything that gets added later without ever having to pay an increase in the cost.
You know that in Novamar, we are so pleased to deal and to work every day with thousands of American and Canadians that they are now with properties in Mexico, investments in Mexico. And we have heard stories where they say, if I will have this information before, if I will do this before in a better way, it will save me money. And really people that they have spent thousands of dollars because they didn't know exactly where to go, or sometimes they go with a person that is not really an expert. And sometimes people trying to be friendly, because in Mexico is very well known that the people is hard for us to say no. So if you ask something, everybody always they have the information, but go with the right person with the right information is going to save money, especially when you are making an investment. If you go with the wrong person, that person is going to make you waste time and money.
Yeah, and if you're, moving is a big expense. It's a big decision to move to another country. Not only are you having to learn new traditions and new customs, you're learning a new language, and then obviously you're making new contacts, new connections. So it's very overwhelming for a lot of people, and that's when they start making mistakes, because they go on Facebook groups and they ask for legal advice, and then somebody gives them the wrong advice. Somebody who maybe had the right information from 10 years ago, and that information is no longer accurate. So that's why we really prioritize updating the guide as soon as we have new information. And it's not only written by me, Roberto. I want to make that clear. I don't claim to be a realtor. I don't claim to be an immigration lawyer. I don't claim to be a healthcare broker. There are reasons why these people are licensed in their specific fields, because they are truly the experts. And those experts have helped me write this online guide. So with those experts, they've given me the details of how these things are done, the processes for immigration, the real estate laws, in your case, like how healthcare works in Mexico and what you can expect and not expect. And so it's not only written by me, it's written by these experts in their fields.
So Mariana, what about the people that they are not planning to move in the next months, or they are just have the idea to go in the future to Mexico? Do you have contact with people that they have those ideas?
Yeah, in fact, I would say most of our customers buy our online course probably 1 or 2 years before they decide to move to Mexico. There's obviously people who buy it 6 months before, a month before they decide to move, because they've done a lot of research, but they still want something more, just another source, right, to help them verify a lot of things. Or maybe they need access to our directory of contacts really soon. But a lot of our customers actually buy the online guide 1 to 2 years before, because they want to do their research ahead of time. And because we're constantly updating that information, they can rest assured that even 2 years from now, the information will be up to date.
So Mariana, when the people, they get the Mexico Relocation Guide, what they are going to find? When I pay the fee, so you are going to send me, you're going to document where I have access. What can I expect when I buy the guide?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think a lot of people are confused, like, so what is this exactly? So basically you can think of it as a membership. Like, you will have a login, you will have a password. When you log in, you will have access to a portal, which has categories for everything: immigration, real estate, healthcare, moving your pets, moving your household goods, taxes. And then under each one of those categories, there's a variety of different step-by-step guides on things that you need to know about maybe buying real estate, or maybe hiring an insurance company, or how the healthcare system works in Mexico, and what are the different kinds of healthcare authorities, right? And how to know what to ask your insurance broker about, your insurance policy and things like that. So when people log in, that's what they're going to see. They're going to see a portal where they have a bunch of different categories for whatever they want to find out or learn about or research. And then we also do exclusive videos where we interview somebody like you, somebody like Novamar, and then we give our customers a chance to be able to ask that professional their questions. So, it's kind of like a master class of, either real estate or immigration, or bringing your pets, or nationalizing your car, or, a relocation tour, or health insurance, healthcare. So there's a variety of different resources in the online guide that people have access to right away.
Excellent. So can you tell us again, what is the website where the people, they have access to Mexico, to all this information, and how they can get in contact with you?
Yeah, so our website is mexicorelocationguide.com. On the website, you'll be able to access everything from our free resources, which we have a very, very extensive blog. We also have a couple of guides of, best places to live. We also have some rental examples. So those are all the free resources. If you go to our website, mexicorelocationguide.com, there's a little tab that says free resources. That's where you have access to all that. If you want to become a customer of the Mexico Relocation Guide, go to mexicorelocationguide.com/guide, and you'll find out everything that it includes. You'll also be able to see whether you are eligible to move to Mexico before you buy the guide. That way, when you buy the guide, you know that you are eligible and what are the steps to follow so that you can get residency.
Excellent, Mariana. Well, thank you for creating this super tool for all the American and Canadians and other people from other countries to go to Mexico.
Yeah, thank you for allowing me to share my passion and talk about it.